Hello there. Today we will test the new GPU for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 RTX 5080 16GB version. Last time I was doing some tests in VR for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 with RTX 3080 12GB, and I get very good results with some optimal settings. But in 2024 didn't work very well, and I upgraded my GPU 20 days ago, and I was testing some time and tried to find the best settings, and those are settings for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. OpenXR Toolkit is enabled. Here have 10-bit code and all these settings here, and also motion reprojection rate is disabled. So for now we will test also when it's enabled, but for now we will test without it, because we will to see how much actually real FPS you can get in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 with 5080. So yes, those are settings in virtual desktop, so it's on godlike settings. Space warp is disabled for now, and on 120 Hz, 200 megabits per second, VR bitrate, and video buffering. Snapdragon I turn off. In most situations it's better to turn off, especially for Microsoft Flight Simulator, and all other settings here, as you can see, performance, increased color vibrancy, depends of you. So yes, those are settings, and I will show you the settings in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Let's jump there. So here we are in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Those are our VR settings in my sim. So NVIDIA DLSS, quality, 130 is AMD Fidelity FX sharpening, reprojection mode off, world scale 100, NVIDIA reflex latency on, and those settings are down. They're mixed. Some settings are on low, some settings are on high. So I try to find the optimal settings for VR with 5080, and as you can see here, all these settings are my settings, and you can try also the same settings and test on your machine. Texture resolution is definitely high, because if you're going in ultra 16 gigabytes of RAM, it's not enough. That's the first issue that you will have with 5080, and it's too low for that GPU. And all other settings, as you can see here, air traffic, I'm using FS traffic from Just Flight, so this is turned off, and the traffic, it will be from Just Flight. So those are settings in Microsoft Flight Simulator that we will test now. So now we will jump to some medium-sized airport and medium-sized city to see how it's working. So here we are. This is A2A Aerostar 600, and we are on the airport, niche airport by Orbx. And yes, I mean, with that settings now currently on the airport we have 50 FPS, around 50, and we will push the throttle now and flaps down, and we'll go in the air, and we will see how much FPS we will get when we take off. Currently 50 FPS without motion reprojection, with those settings that you see on the start. So throttle and take off, gear up, flaps up. So we will see now. Now the FPS, I think it will go up a little bit. yes, now we get 58, 60 FPS. So now I can tell you, without motion reprojection, when you're looking around the left and right, it's okay. I mean, it's working good. When you look on the instruments, they're a little bit, I don't know, but you have like a instrument steering, like a screen tearing when the V-Sync is off. And yes, I mean, it's okay. It's working good also now because I'm recording directly on my Quest 3. I'm not recording on computer. But when you are in the air, when you take off, and when you are on the open sky, you can get 60 FPS with those settings that you already see, and this is okay. It's working good. And this is some small size, some medium size of airport and medium size of city. And yes, I mean, it's working good. And you can get stable 60 FPS in the air if you are using Microsoft Flight Simulator without third-party airports or cities. And this is actually third-party airport by Orbix. And yes, now I'm looking on the city and on the airport, and I'm getting the 60 FPS. And yes, that's okay. But now let's see how much FPS we can get, for example, when we go in New York with the same aircraft. Okay, so now here we are in the New York Kennedy International Airport, and as you can see now I can get only 24 FPS. The airport is busy, there are a lot of traffic there, and let's go in the air, let's take off and to see how much, look, even now 70 FPS. And how much we can get FPS when we are in the open sky above the New York. Yes, this is now very heavy for this GPU. Bear in mind, my CPU is already old, almost 4 years. It's about Ryzen 9 5900X. Maybe this better CPU, it will help this situation here on this airport, but that's not the part of my story, and that's another story. And if we are talking about is it worth, I don't know, I will think about that. Okay, now we just take off, and look now, FPS is going to 54, 52, 53, and now it's okay. Now it's absolutely fine. I mean, down there it's so clear, crystal clear textures, and you can see everything, and it's okay. So yes, now when we are in the air above the New York, take off from Kennedy Airport, everything is okay. I mean, you can get good FPS. Some not perfect, but it's okay. And this is without motion reprojection. So this is what you can get from this GPU. If you put everything on ultra, it will not work simply. On low, it's not that story, because on low it's not so good graphics and textures, and it's not so sharp. So this is the thing, you can get around 50 FPS to 55 in New York area. Yes, now let's test with motion reprojection on 90 Hz. This is 120 Hz, but we will also test with 90 Hz to see if we can get smooth picture and optimal performance with this card. Okay, now we are on the medium size airport, Niche by Orbix, and here everything is smooth. I mean, don't look down on the informations from virtual desktop, look up FPS 45. So actually it's showing you here 90, 84 now, but the real FPS is 45. And here with 45 FPS we get stable 45 FPS when we turn on the space warp, and everything in the cockpit is very smooth. You can move your head and everything is working good. And yes, I mean, this is okay. You can get stable 45 FPS and very smooth experience. And yes, it's showing, it shows you here down 90, but actually it's 45. Take a look up on these yellow letters, and this is okay. I can move my head left and right and everything is so smooth. Stable 45 FPS. So with 1380 12 gigabytes version, I couldn't put the graphics quality on godlike. I can put on ultra, and textures are not so clear, and also performance are not so good. Like here, actually you can get the stable 45 FPS like in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Anyway, let's go now on the New York to see how it's working there. Alright, so now here we get exactly the same situation. Now we have 26 real FPS, and it's not so smooth again, and you have lagging and FPS drops, and simply it doesn't work very well when you start from the airport. And when we go in the air, we will see now, gear up, flaps up. So yes, now there is no even traffic, they're not loaded. And yes, here we go now. The FPS is going up slowly. Oops, I just turned off the VR. Okay, now yes, now we come in the same situation. We get 42, 45, 46 FPS, and it's okay. It works okay. I mean, not bad at all. And yes, actually, I don't know, but 5080, I mean, should you buy for Microsoft Flight Simulator for VR? If you're asking me, the answer is no, it doesn't work. I mean, you must lower in the settings and do some work from the side and to set up everything, and at the end you will have problem with VRAM because you have only 16 gigabytes on 5080, and that's the problem. You can't put the textures on ultra. I mean even on the monitor 4K, if you put textures on ultra, you will have problem with VRAM and you will have some lags because it's spending more than 16 gigabytes. And that's the problem with 5080 actually. First, not for the price and for what you will get, and second, about 16 gigabytes of VRAM. So maybe, not maybe, but from my side, for sure you should skip this. And if you can't wait, if you really want to buy the new GPU, maybe you should go with AMD 9070 XT or even 5060 Ti. It can do the job for you if you want to fly on the 4K monitor, because yes, with frame generation this card is working phenomenal. I mean 240 FPS and everything is super. But again, about VRAM, and 5060 Ti, it has 16 GB, 5070 Ti, it has 16 GB, and 5080 also 16 GB. So doesn't matter which card you will get, if you put ultra textures and if you install some third-party airport, or if you go in airport like this one with so big city, you will have problem with VRAM, and that's the main issue with 5080. In that case, better to go with 5060 Ti, turn on the frame gen, you will get around 100 FPS in 4K, put textures on high, everything other on ultra, and it will do the job for you. So this is actually, from my angle, from my perspective, 5080 for Microsoft Flight Simulator, it's a mistake and not worth the price, for sure. I mean, 3080 12 GB was doing the job very well on 4K monitor. I can get 50 to 60 FPS without DLSS or without frame gen. And also there is an option, AMD FSR free, and if you turn on that on 3080, you will get around 100 FPS. So if you have 30 series, 3080, 3090 or 70, it's better to keep that GPU and wait for some time, because again, I think even if you upgrade to 5080 and if you want everything on ultra, you will not be happy. I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean 5080 in Call of Duty Warzone and in some other games, it's working perfectly, 250 FPS and everything is flying. And yes, but for Microsoft Flight Simulator, you have problem with VRAM, and that's the main problem why you should not buy 5080. And yes, I will also make some tests between 3080 12 GB and 5080 in VR, and also on 4K monitor with almost ultra settings, without, just not on ultra with texture settings. And yes, that's it. Now I'm above the New York and it's smooth. I mean 45 FPS, it's okay. The picture quality is good, but I don't know if it's worth the price. I mean, it costs more than 1,300 euros, and you will give, it depends on your country, but you will give 1,300 euros, and at the end, maybe you will not be satisfied. You will not be happy with this GPU, and that's the main problem. Yes, now when I'm looking 45 FPS, it's absolutely okay. It's absolutely fine. Like I make settings and this FPS also in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 with 3080. But 3080, to be honest, in 2024 doesn't work very well, and you can get the sharp textures and good FPS. At least I couldn't do. So yes, this was it for 5080 in VR in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and as you can see, we check medium-sized airport and some big airport, very busy with big city, New York, and you can just decide, is it worth to buy, to switch, or to wait. Anyway, if you can't wait, if you really want to have something stronger with 16 GB, go with lower price 5070 Ti or 9070 XT from AMD, or even 5060 Ti. It will do the job for you if you are flying on the monitor 2K or 4K. For VR, it's a little bit difficult to say, at least now, because this is SU free update, beta, and I don't know later if they will do something about performance, maybe the situation it will be better, but for now it's like this. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time.